Talk Radio with Michael, Neil, Phil, and the gang.
Welcome to Song Talk Radio. This is episode 301. This is the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, and techniques, and together we all become better at writing songs. I'm your host, Neil Modi, and with me are the colorful members of the Song Talk Radio action team. We have Fuchsia Phil.
Am I fuchsia?
You're Fuchsia.
I'm wearing a black shirt. That doesn't, okay.
Fuchsia's the new black.
Okay, all right.
Confuciad.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have Magenta Mike.
Which is close to fuchsia.
It is close to fuchsia.
Well,
That was not on purpose.
You gotta have wine-colored pants.
Yeah,
sort of like
kind of a burgundy. Yeah. All right. And on social media tonight, we have Royal Blue Rita. Hello, Rita.
Nice.
Famous.
And finally on the tech board, it's Denim Don.
In France, they call it.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Louis
Don, to the
Royale.
team. Don's handling our tech board for the second time now, I think.
Don's the man.
Don's the man.
I'm not counting.
I'm not kidding.
No.
We are. Goes on your Iron Man
But
record.
because we sound so good, it's all due to Don.
That's right. And of course, during the show, please send in your comments and questions to @SongTalkRadio on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or feedback@songtalk.ca for the good old-fashioned email, and we'll share them with the audience in as real time as we can. And please visit us at songtalk.ca to find out how you can be a guest. Before we get to tonight's guest, though, we have from the news desk.
We've got listener emails, and we love emails. So the first email we got was about last week's show,
Right?
which was
More complaints?
more complaints about a fantastic songwriter, and we were talking to him about the conversation where your guest says he's not written unrequited love songs
Right.
about himself.
That was Steve Strongman.
Steve Strongman.
Steve Strongman, yeah.
Right.
Does everybody always assume songs by singer-songwriters are autobiographical? Also, do you?
I don't, but people tend
People
to.
might.
There's something about the delivery mechanism. You know, if you see an actor in a show, you don't think that that's necessarily the person. But when a singer sings something, it seems like it's coming from them.
Yeah, people tend to see singer-songwriters as more confessional than actors.
Yeah, that was the point that Frank Zappa made at the PRMC hearing when they were labeling records. He said that it was unfair to label records because you were, in essence, labeling the person as being obscene, which was not necessarily the case because you might have been singing a song in character.
Right.
However, that didn't work, and now they label obscene records.
But I think probably it happens more often than not as people write songs not about themselves necessarily.
Have you ever written a song, say, that a young lady might have misinterpreted and thought it was about her?
Not-
Or about your relationship or something
No,
like that?
not that per se, not that I know of at least.
I know I've written songs about a young lady who had no idea that it was about there. And,
Right.
about
Yeah,
it.
that's the opposite.
I mean, certainly when I was a kid, I think I always assumed that the songwriter or the singer was actually singing something they actually experienced. Of course, that wasn't true. I remember the first time I heard High School Confidential by Rough
Pope.
Trade.
Oh, yeah.
And Carol Pope, and there's this one line that says, "She makes me cream my jeans every time she comes my way," and I sort of thought, "Oh, I guess this must be a cover of another song," just because when I was like 10 or something, I just never thought, "Oh, well, maybe there's a girl likes another girl." It just never occurred to me, But I always assumed it was, the people actually, if you sang the song, it was because it was actually from your standpoint. That's what I thought about. What was weird about the Rocket Man movie, because Elton John was singing these songs about stuff that he was watching, but of course he didn't write any of the lyrics.
No, that was Bernie
Yeah.
Taupin.
There's Bernie Taupin, so it's
Exactly.
such
there
an
you
odd, yeah. So it's not it at all.
Yeah, that they used his lyrics to be autobiographical in telling the story of Elton John when he had never written the lyrics.
I know.
I
It's kinda strange.
think the short answer to Sharon's question is that it depends if you're a songwriter or not. If you're,
We don't
if you're a
give short
musician, if you're an
answers.
artist, you
Yeah.
probably pay attention to those details. If you're not, then you probably assume that the person singing it is about them.
Yeah, I think it does, and I think a lot of people. There's a lot of very famous covers that people don't realize are covers.
Yeah.
And it's like Nazareth, Love Hurts was a cover. So.
That's right.
All right. So the second one was from Ruby M. It doesn't say where she's from. Very excited about this. And the subject is links to the second annual Gifties. And Ruby has now won something. I don't know what. But it's because we're now going to be calling our gift guide the Gifties.
Accolades and
What a great line, isn't it?
The
Yes.
gifties.
The gifties. So we're going to trademark that so that no one else can steal that.
Yeah.
So Ruby wrote, hello, I just listened to your podcast for the first time and then hopped over to the site, but not finding a list of the recommended gifts. Help. That's because I was slovenly, and we often put a priority to get the song out into the podcast stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually put the podcast up before we got the list up, but actually now the list is all there.
Yep, with links.
With links from everyone's list, Vanessa, Michael, Niels, myself,
Yeah.
and a couple from the listeners. So go there and get some great gifts for you this holiday season.
Or for us.
Or
if you
for
feel
us.
generous.
Happy shopping.
I will accept any of those gifts, actually,
I'll accept all of them.
or money.
Money.
Money always works for me. So,
Well, I think
feel free to send in
Ruby's
your
going to get
credit
2
card
cents every
numbers.
time we use the word gifties. So
that's true.
there's the gift right there.
Anyways, Ruby, we're going to send you something. We don't know what it is. If we had merch, we'd send you a T-shirt, but we don't have merchandise.
Working
So
on that. Okay.
we'll send you something.
All right, our guest tonight, David McLachlan, is a prolific songwriter with 7 albums released and one currently in the can for release in August 2020. It's 2020, like in a couple weeks, guys.
Holy crap.
Yeah, just so you know. 5 of his albums were recorded with stellar A-list players in Nashville. David will play Winterfolk in Toronto in late February 2020, and then at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville in early March. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you. Thanks,
Yay.
thanks, guys.
Yeah,
It's
thanks for
great.
coming out.
I've always heard of the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. What's so special about the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville?
It's a really small place, but it's got this vibe or cachet. Are you allowed to say that on the radio?
Yeah.
It's got this cachet.
Got that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It was originally started by this gal Amy Kurland, and when she let it go, NSAI, Nashville Songwriter Association, bought the Bluebird, and they pioneered the songwriter in the round format.
Oh, okay. That's where that started.
And really, where I met you, you know, when you're across the stage, it's actually you're in the middle of the floor in a round, and the audience is all around you
Oh,
in the bar.
Wow.
So you're sitting opposite one person, and then the other 2 and 4 are sitting opposite. So you're in a circle, just like we are now, with the audience all around you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neat. So it's actually made for listening. Like it's not a bar.
It's a listening room,
It's a
yeah.
listening
And the
room,
common thing you'll hear is shh.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like,
Okay.
you know, some songwriter's going to pontificate, and we don't want to miss a word, right? So,
Ooh, a songwriter speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what I always liked about the Free Times Cafe we have here in
Yeah.
Toronto. That you go to the back room and it's specific for listening. And I've heard the open mic host there be like, "Shush, we're trying to hear the songwriter."
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when I went to Hughes Room last week to see Steve Strongman, the announcement up front was the same kind of thing. Look,
Yeah.
this is a listening room, so please don't be talking while the performers
Yeah.
are playing. But once he was playing, yeah, no one was talking. They were just riveted.
That always helps.
So the Bluebird has like a writer's night Monday night, an open mic, writer's night Sunday night, open mic Monday night, and then they have artists Tuesday to Sunday, and sometimes it's 2 shows a night.
Wow.
Yeah,
Music all the time.
and then because of the TV show, it's become so el populaire that you can't get a seat there because it's so small, and people are lined up and they got to go to the Bluebird.
So why don't you tell us about your songwriting process, David? How were your songs born?
My songs are born, I guess, by inspiration.
What does that mean to you?
What does that mean to me? There's a whole process of craft and starting to write, but I'm lazy. I like the idea to come to me, the inspiration to come to me, and
So you're not necessarily deliberately writing every day.
I don't.
No?
I don't. Like I'm always thinking. I'm always listening to what people say. Sometimes people will say the darndest things, and the syntax might be off a bit or something. I go, wow, goes in my file.
Right.
You know.
What form does your file take? Do you record notes on your phone, or do you actually?
Words. It's words.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll put the music to it later. So I have a whole list of titles in my phone,
Right on.
things I've overheard people say, or Facebook's great for it.
yeah.
Facebook is.
YouTube comments.
Yeah. I just did a song in Nashville in September on my next album, that's the one that's coming out next year, and someone said something, and I said, "Yeah, what the heart wouldn't let go." And I went, "That's a song, man." So I left the post up, but I put it in my phone, and then Harp and Norm and I wrote it this summer. What the heart wouldn't let go, and that's coming out on that album next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So this list of titles you have, you back it up, right? You don't.
No,
You lose your phone.
I don't.
You don't. So if you lose your phone, you're gonna lose all those titles.
Probably.
Yeah.
But they're out there. They're floating around. So you just have to
Just grab another
pick them
one.
out of the sky. Yeah. So I think I'm a lazy songwriter. I wait.
So you it sounds like your lyrics first.
Not
Or
always.
at least some lyrics first.
Not lately. I'd say more lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier when I wrote, it was I had a music or a groove or something, and then what is that saying to me? And then you'd get the words to come out.
Okay.
But I'd say, yeah, lately I've come up with the words and put the music to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So over your career and over the 7 albums, has your process changed, you think? Or it's just,
Well, I'm still open to doing it the other way.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe the process has changed a bit.
Do you find necessarily you end up with songs you're happier with one way or the other, or is it kind of even?
I usually will finish a song if I start it, and for me, it's because it's a keeper. I'll keep it.
Mm-hmm.
If I put that energy and the time into it, I don't write garbage just for the sake of a writing exercise.
Yeah, we've heard of that before, where someone decides to write a song a day for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's good
Yeah.
or bad or whatever, just to exercise the muscle, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have bits and pieces, too, that you save. Yeah.
All the time. All
Yeah.
the time. Yeah. I have a brown paper bag at home with napkins and bar cozies and just with all this brilliance written on it, right?
Right.
It's in the bag, and
The bag of brilliance?
I think I only opened the bag to put the new stuff in. I never have looked in there going, "Oh, I need something. Maybe it's in the bag. Dump it on the floor and what'll come out," right? But
I've often wondered about that myself.
I'm gonna write a song
There's,
called Brown
there's an
Paper
album
Bag.
right there, Songs from the Bag.
songs from the bag. I like that.
So
I'm in the bag writing a song. Okay, go
In
ahead.
that case, it'll all seem brilliant.
Yeah. It usually does.
other artists cover your material, or
I do a lot of Neil Young stuff, and unfortunately, he doesn't do any of my stuff in his shows. So,
Doesn't seem fair.
yeah, it doesn't seem fair. Not as of yet.
no? Okay.
Not as of yet. But when I write, I don't write with another artist in mind, trying to get a cover, because there's 30,000 people in Nashville doing that every day,
Right.
right? So,
So you're
I
writing
write for
primarily
me,
for yourself.
and I'm the artist.
Yeah.
And amazingly, it gets cut. So, what a deal!
Can't complain.
You got to be your own best friend, right?
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we hear the first song? This is called "Dance You to
Dance
the
You
Moon."
to the Moon. Okay.
Right on. And this was
And how was the process of this song? Do you remember how you wrote this?
Yeah, sure I do. I had sold my cottage, and this was the day before I was leaving, and I wrote 2 songs that afternoon, and they're both on the new album, and it's the first time I've ever written 2 songs simultaneously. So I think I was processing lots of stuff, and I was thinking, man, I got to be writing a song about, oh, I'm leaving my cottage. Oh, I had it 30 years, and poor little me, and this is what came out, right? And so, yeah. My wife always used to say, "You got 2 left feet," right? She was a great dancer, and I wasn't. So, I don't know. That popped into the song and opened it up. It's called "Dancer to the Moon." You always said I had 2 left feet. Oh, I did my best to try and keep the beat. I had so much fun with you out on the floor. Let me loosen up and I will dance some more. You know you hold my dance card. Come on, do-si-do. Not so fast, my darling. Let's do it nice and slow. We can move as one all around the room. each other tight, and I'll dance you to the moon. We can be the first ones on the floor tonight, dance the night away till they turn on the lights. If we sit one out, watch the others move, have a drink, smooch a bit, get back in the groove. You know you hold my dance card, come on, do-si-do. Not so fast, my darling, let's do it nice and slow. We can move as one, all around the room. Let's hold each other tight, and I'll dance you to the moon. You know you hold my dance card, come on, do-si-do. Not so fast, my darling, let's do it nice and slow. We can move as one, all around the room. Let's hold each other tight, and I'll dance you to the moon. Thanks to the moon. Thanks very much.
Great tune.
Yeah.
you.
What'd you think, Michael?
I find it. I always find it interesting to listen to the solo version after having listened to the produced version, because your record, the produced version of it, sounds great and big and all that. But it's always, well, it's what we were talking about earlier. You seem more like it's your story when it's, just you and your guitar.
Right.
So I was just kind of entranced watching it play. It's a wonderful story song.
Yeah.
That puts you in a mood or takes you to a mood.
Thank
I
you.
really
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It certainly takes you to a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you sort of in your mind's eye, you add, like the fly, like the moths or whatever fluttering on the lights and the porch, and like I don't know, it just has a real kind of late summer feel to it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, nice.
And then the feel of it's got that kind of dance steppy, upbeat kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? Going on. So
Oh, thank
it
you.
kind of, like the music and the lyric, the story is very,
Right.
they're married together quite well, right? In
Yeah.
that sense.
Well,
You
it's
know,
kind
you know
of
what that is, eh?
Prosody?
Prosody, yeah.
Prosody?
Sorry, this is episode 301. I guess I'll shut up right now.
No,
what's
no.
pro-
Hey,
No, we
so
gotta
what's-
talk about prosody.
What's prosody?
Prosody, I'm not sure if it was Pat Pattison who coined the term, but he certainly uses it a lot. So his thing is that, okay, this song that David wrote is about dancing.
Right.
So the lyric is, everything in the lyric is going to point towards that theme, that idea.
Right.
And all my musical decisions as well are going to point and go towards that theme.
Okay.
So I'm going to do an upbeat, poppy
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so it's what's the song about when you're not talking about the lyric and the music? Like, what's the overarching idea?
Right.
What's
So
the
mu-
theme
the
that ties
music-
everything together?
The music should match
Right.
the content. And the best example of prosody is the theme from Jaws.
Uh-huh.
And in two notes,
Yeah.
da da, da da, they got you.
Yeah.
Because you know something's going to happen. Da da, in two notes.
Right.
Where is he? Right.
And of course, I mean, there are many songs where those two things are in opposition.
Yeah, things can be at odds. Like
Right.
our song challenge is kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Positive song written in
happy
minor key.
lyric in a minor key.
So
yeah.
Or I remember hearing the Byrds, one of the Byrds' first albums, talking about a mining disaster, but they're playing this jangly 12 string,
Yeah.
and it's like happy goes
it was the
lucky,
happiest
and-
mining disaster I
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
heard.
But that's not prosody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people like the song because of the music, probably.
Yeah.
And didn't listen to the lyrics.
I think the line "Dancing to the Moon" is a wonderful line. It's like one of those perfect poetic turns of phrase, which I thought was just so nice. It's interesting. It sounds very traditional because it seems like there's not like you don't change chords going into the chorus. I think, isn't it?
Is it the same chord progression, verse and chorus?
Uh,
I think there's maybe one chord difference.
They're just it's the same chords, but in a different
In
order.
different order. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the chorus starts on G, whereas the song starts on D.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just 1 to the 5.
Let's play the verse.
please.
Please?
Oh, so play the verse?
Yeah, just so we can see the difference between the verse and the
So
chorus.
So that's and then
Yeah.
do, 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 do,
Oh, right.
do, 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 do.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice because it's a nice gentle sort of change. It doesn't
Yeah.
Stand out
It's
too
not-
much, but
it's
it
not
sounds
Jarring, yeah.
which I think gives it that kind of traditional feel.
Yeah.
But come on, do-si-do really tells you this is the chorus.
Yeah.
True.
If that's not a signifier that we're in the chorus, I don't know.
That's true.
Do you do a lot of editing when it comes to your songs, or
I do, but not while I'm writing them. That was going to be my songwriter tip at the end of the show. You got to shut the editor right off, and if it's coming, let it come, and get it down, write it all out, and then start picking stuff up and putting it together.
So you always get through one draft first,
Oh, definitely, yeah.
as quickly as possible.
do you wind up writing like extra verses so that you have like maybe more than one, like because you have like sort of 2 verses here? Would you, in this case, write maybe 3 verses and then pick them out, or
No,
no?
I'm not as prolific as
Because,
Leonard.
because this is actually this one other comment about this song is it's fairly economical. Like it's kind of about one thing. You're not you don't take a bridge and go somewhere else and kind of explore this big
Yeah.
long story or anything.
Yeah.
It's pretty compact in those terms. So it seems like what Phil's talking about. Like maybe you had some more stuff in here, but you streamlined it.
Well, I did a songwriting course with Gary Burr in Nashville, and Gary Burr has quite a pedigree. He's got like 14 number ones, 24 top 20s, 32 top 40s,
Wow.
and he's got a method called the North Star method, and he says every line in the song should point to your North Star. So I'm not going to go back and
Yeah.
he suggests to go back and look at some of your stuff, and so you have to figure out what the North Star is. Like
Yeah.
Dance You to the Moon might not be the North Star. It might be we're dancing together and having a good time.
Right.
So every line's got to point to that.
Or come on, do-si-do. Like just
Come
let's
on, do
get up on the floor with me.
Yeah. Like who says that in a song? I do.
You do.
Oh wow, that's original. Thanks. but if I had the editor on, I'd say, oh no, I can't say that in a song.
Right.
I'm sophisticated Toronto guy, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it just came out, stayed there. That's
Right.
the Neil Young school.
Mm-hmm.
That's what came through, man. I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sorry. Go on.
Well, I was gonna- you mentioned Neil Young. Who are your songwriting influences or your playing influences?
Well, Neil Young, big time, and Joni Mitchell, and Toronto writers like Murray McLachlan and Bruce Cockburn. Steve Goodman, for sure.
Yeah.
Steve Goodman, and Harry Chapin, I guess. People that I saw growing up, either at Ontario Place or the Riverboat in Yorkville, and
Right.
yeah.
And what was the road that led you to Nashville?
I had done 2 albums in Toronto. The first we did at my cottage with David Bradstreet, and David's a fine singer-songwriter producer. We went to my cottage and did it in the Muskoka room,
Oh, nice.
and then he midied all the other parts to it, and
Yeah.
had a bass player put some stuff down, and that was great. And then the second album, I went into a studio down in Carlaw, and it was April Fool's Day. It was also Good Friday, the same day as April Fool's Day. So double whammy. I thought, yeah, this is a good omen. So I run through the 10 songs. He says, okay, that's good. Come on in the control room. And I went in the control room. And the guy laid down the bass. He laid down a bit of piano. We brought a cellist in, a French horn.
He recorded you playing your.
He recorded me playing, and I knew he was
Okay.
recording me, but it wasn't like, okay, that was a good take. Now let's get it for real.
Yeah.
I did it perfect. All the
Right.
songs are one take, except one song. I flubbed it, and I said, let's start over, and we redid it.
Wow.
Were these
so-
you've been playing live?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
had
yeah.
some comfort
So-
with them.
So when I went to Nashville, I brought my guitar into the studio, and the producer goes, "You're not playing today, are you?" I said, "No, I just like bringing my guitar with me." like down there, you don't get out your guitar. Like these guys are wizards, just wizards. Yeah. So all I did was vocals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you bring in an arrangement or work with them to make the arrangement?
The way I do it with them is I send them the MP3 of me on guitar, like you just heard.
Yeah.
With the lyric sheet. Then we do a Skype meeting 1 week before. It's a 3-hour Skype meeting, and Larry, the producer, writes the charts. He'll say, you're 6 bars in that turnaround. Why don't we make that 4? Oh, I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, 4's better. Let's do 4, right? Like he's just cleaning it up, tightening it up.
Maybe altering tempo a bit or...
No, never.
They don't suggest that?
Sometimes when we're in there, they'll go, hey, what's the BPM on that? Let's put it up to 108, right? And so
Right.
We'll do it a little faster, but
Usually a subtle change, if at all, right?
a subtle change.
Yeah.
And he'll say, like, I might have had a chord like this. He said, why don't we do that chord? Oh, that works better, thanks. But minimal tinkering.
Right.
And the finished product is what I heard in my head. That's why I like going there. That's why I go to Nashville. And that album that you've got there, we did in 5 days.
Wow. So, like, how much would something like this cost? Like when you go down to Nashville? Like,
Well, that's classified. I can't tell that.
Top secret information.
Because I know a lot of people would want to do that, but it's
Yeah.
you have no idea if that's like, is that like a $20,000 thing?
Yeah,
or
what
is
would
it-
be a range? I mean, because obviously there's different
$1,000
players.
a track.
Yeah.
$1,000 a track, Canadian.
That's not bad.
It's great.
Yeah,
That's
because they get
really
it done. They're just
Well, that's the thing. That's why I go. You go in Monday at 10, you leave Friday at 5, finish master, 12 tunes.
Damn.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, we have that SoCan house down there.
I've tried to get into it. Like you need to book it almost a year in advance.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's SoCan House?
SoCan House
SoCan
is
has
a
a
house they will have songwriters stay at free of charge because you're a SoCan member. So you're not putting out $100 US a night for a 3-bed hotel, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's
Huh,
affordable.
that's good. You just need to know way ahead of time
Yeah.
when you're booking
When you're
your
going to go
time.
and do it and book it. Yeah, book it.
Okay, and speaking of planning ahead, we're just going to take a short little break and we'll be right back.
Hey, for those of you just joining us, you are listening to SongTalk Radio, streaming on songtalk.ca, and today we are talking with David McLachlan. Don't forget, we love to hear from you, even during the show, so why don't you share your thoughts and questions with us at SongTalk Radio on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or send us an email at feedback@songtalk.ca. We'll share your thoughts and questions here on the show. And coming up on SongTalk Radio in the next couple of weeks, we on December 10th, Jeff Farquharson with his holiday songs. That's going to be kind of fun. And then on December 17th, it's going to be a fun one, Song Talk Radio's Best Songs of the Decade special. With Mike McInnes will be joining us.
Yes.
With his,
Cool.
That'll be a fun show.
with his big brain. So it's going to be good fun. So please tune in to that
And
one.
then Christmas Eve. What do we do Christmas Eve?
Well, on Christmas Eve, we have a special Christmas episode coming up. But that's, of course, not for a little while yet because I haven't actually started my Christmas shopping. But I have put up the Christmas lights, so that's something.
You guys
Well,
will do
that's
a
good.
show Christmas Eve?
Well,
Oh, kind
well recorded
It'll be
ahead of time.
broadcast on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
There will be a Christmas Eve show.
Yeah.
And back to you, Neil.
Okay, so why don't we get to David's second song here, Heart Without Love.
Okay.
How did this one come about?
Yeah, I was watching a movie on Women's Network, and I watch a lot of those syrupy, sappy love movies, and one of the characters said to this guy, like they were trying to make it work, and she said, a life without love is only half a life. And I said, thanks for the song, put it in the file, and 2 nights later, the muse woke me up out of bed.
Are those movies sort of a goldmine for
Oh, there's lots of great
phrases?
stuff in there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah,
check
yeah.
out some sappy rom-coms?
Yeah,
There's a whole bunch of them on now.
yeah. Oh, the Christmas ones, yeah.
Oh,
Well, the one I was watching, it wasn't Christmas, so it's the same plot line, but no Christmas trees and no snow, and
Right.
You don't say.
That's the only difference.
but it was
I'll bet.
still a love thing, right? So, 2 2 nights later, the muse got me out of bed, and I keep a yellow legal pad on a music stand beside my bed.
Ah, very
with
smart.
a red felt tip pen.
So all these lyrics are legal then.
Yeah. And so when you get up in the middle of the night, the critic
Oh, I get it.
says, "Nah, I'm not getting up. I'm staying in bed." So the critic is out of the way, right?
Ah, right.
So you're just writing stream of consciousness, and you're writing. And the song, I wrote that song that night, 2 nights after I heard the lines. So it's kind of an R&B thing, but there's no horns in it anyway.
All right, well, let's
It's
hear
called
it.
Heart Without Love. A life without love is only half a life. Heard that in a movie, an echo in the night. Looking for a sign up in the sky. A heart without love is only half alive. Walk without a hand to hold as your own, is to walk alone on a hard gravel road. There'll be curves and bends, you take 'em as they lie. A heart without love is only half alive. A heart to share your hopes and dreams and all your fears, is a heart that wants to know why all the tears. A life without love is only half a life. Heard that in a movie, an echo in the night. Looking for a sign up in the sky. A heart without love is only half alive. A heart without love is only half alive. A heart without love is only half alive.
Woo!
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Very nice.
I really like the rhythm of a heart without love is only half alive.
Yeah.
That's a really hooky way of doing that line.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a flat line. Can you just do those 2 lines again, please?
So when I was doing the demo to send to Nashville, I'd had a glass of wine. I'm up in the bathroom. I had my MP3 player, and
In the bathroom?
yeah, I do it in the bathroom for the echo. Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't have to add any reverb to it. It makes you sound like Bruce Springsteen, which is great.
That's not a bad thing.
I was singing "A Life Without Love," and then I just went to this break thing, and a heart without love is only half alive popped out, and I thought, wow, man, that's great. Maybe that's the song, right? So I changed what I heard. So what was it that you wanted me to do over again?
Well, just do those 2 lines because I think like it's an interesting pairing of the line. You have a heart without love, fairly straightforward rhythm, but then you have a more interesting rhythm on your second line. Is only half alive?
A life without love is only half alive.
No. The last 2 lines of your verse, with the key lines, heart without love.
Heart without love is only half alive.
Yeah, that's so hooky.
Heart without love is only half alive.
Yeah, that's such a hooky way of handling that line.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not
it
just
picks up
heart
the pace a
without
bit.
love is only. I mean, because there's an extra a syllable in there, but it kind of makes it a lot more catchy. Is only half alive.
Right, I got
You
you.
know, it's almost kind of Celtic in some ways.
Okay.
It's got a bit of the Celtic feel, you know.
Yeah, it puts the emphasis on a different word.
Right.
Because before it's like only half alive, and then when you do it that way, it's only half alive.
No, it's only
Only half.
Only
half a
alive.
life.
Only half a life.
A life without heart without a life without love is only half.
We'll never be able to
alive.
sing this again.
We're having half-lives.
Glad to ruin the song for you.
This song doesn't really have a chorus, per se.
No.
Yeah.
Just,
No, it's a
just
refrain.
that break thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the refrain thing, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of a verse and refrain.
yeah. So you have a verse, and at the end of the verse is your.
It's
your
really only
is-
2 verses. I repeat the first verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But certainly the tag on the end is sort of,
Yeah.
tag, refrain, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it.
It's interesting because I could see this actually having like more. You could actually have more than one verses. Like it's a very tight song. But did you explore doing more verses at all? Or?
No, back to the Neil Young thing. I'm done.
Yeah. Because like
No.
the other one's pretty short. Like even in terms of minutes and seconds, it's fairly short.
they're radio friendly.
Yeah,
like
they're radio friendly, 3 minute,
310,
Yeah.
303, yeah.
Yeah. And again, the bridge, not a massive departure in terms of musical chord
Yeah, the
choices.
bridge
or
is
anything.
supposed to take you over here to say,
Yeah.
but the bridge is the emotional center of that song, especially when end on that tears, rhyming with tears, right? But
It's a different perspective on the subject that you're singing about.
yeah.
What'd you think, Michael?
Again, first of all, I always like hearing the different versions of it, you know?
Oh, so you heard on the CD, now you're hearing
Listen
it
to the
this
CD,
way.
yeah. And it seems much more direct. But I also just find myself, okay, how's he playing it?
Oh, yeah. It's like,
One of those chords.
so
And so that's one of the advantages. So that's why I should go to our YouTube channel so you can also watch the show
Yeah.
and see how he plays this. But yeah, I just was interested in. I think it was partly what you're saying about like the way that your vocals sometimes are kind of rhythmic and calming, and then you pick up the pace, or you kind of you make the hook. So how that works with the patterns that you're playing too. So
Well, it's
I
one,
was-
it's
I
one of
was
the many
mostly
ways
just-
to introduce a little bit of tension. A
I
little
was
bit
just
of
watching it
contrast.
being made, really.
yeah.
I wanted to pick your brain a bit, if you could. So you've been down to Nashville a number of times, and I know a lot of people talk about wanting to go down to Nashville and sort of get basically your experience. So, what are your tips for someone who wants to go down and do that?
It's very humbling. The level of talent there is like sky high. So I sneak into town under the stealth of night with a disguise. I don't announce my arrival or anything. And then, no, I'm kidding.
So you think wearing a disguise was helpful?
As long as you don't have to leave during the.
You know what?
cover
Everyone
nights.
down there is so
Totally
nice
would,
for the level of talent they have. Just go in and be humble bumble.
So, what exactly do you do? So, if I say, oh, I want to go to Nashville, I have no idea. Like, where do you
Where do I
go?
go?
How do
What
you
do I
find
say?
it?
So there's a place, Scarrett Bennett, which is like
Scarrett Bennett?
Scarrett Bennett, and it's like $80 a night, and you have a little dorm room, and it's like a campus, and you share a bathroom with someone, and there's like a lock system. So in your room, it's like a prison cell.
You're guessing.
But no.
That's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a story about that. Good one.
Heard it in a movie. Right?
Heard it in a movie, yeah. So that's real cheap. But you could go down and stay at a place and down by Broadway, the Bridgestone Arena, and spend $500 US a night for a hotel if you want. I'm a songwriter. I'm going on the cheap.
Right.
But your point is that place is just filled with other songwriters and.
Oh yeah, everyone like it's a mecca. People go there and they're trying to get a cut or get discovered or do their thing. And,
So, do you have to book like online at this place, or
you can, yeah. And if you stay, like one time I stayed, I think 2 weeks, and they gave me a deal on the thing, and it's up on 21st Avenue, so it's just north of where all the publishers, Music Row and stuff like that are, and it's up by Vanderbilt University. And last time I stayed at a Airbnb. A friend of mine's daughter is an aspiring artist, and so she bought her a place there, and so
Wow.
I stayed at her place, and I'll probably do that again when I go in March, hopefully. Sue, if you're listening, I'm going to call you.
So the first time you went down there, had you knew people, you'd made contacts in the Nashville area,
Well,
or
no.
the music biz there, or no, you went down kind of
I
blind?
I'm a member of the Nashville Songwriters Group here in Toronto,
Right.
which is the largest chapter outside of Nashville. And they have a thing called Tin Pan South, which is a songwriter work. So there's shows from Monday to Sunday, but on the Friday, Saturday, they have the Tin Pan North Symposium. So there's 300 people that go to songwriter classes, and you get a time with a publisher, and so I did a
So
number of those.
That's here in Toronto?
No, that's
Oh,
in Nashville. That's in
okay.
Nashville, and then we do a thing called Tin Pan North in May every year.
Which
in
is
Toronto.
the equivalent here in Toronto?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's just the songwriter festival, not. We do a thing called Music Row North, where we have classes one day either at Harris or Trebas Institute, and we bring in industry people and producers and publishers and put on a seminar. Right, it's a way to raise money to keep the song stuff going. So when I went to Nashville, I went to these Tin Pan North things, and that was kind of my introduction to Nashville.
So you were there, and then you met people down there. It's like kind of network type thing, or
Yeah, I met like a lot of songwriters in these groups, but a friend of mine did a 4-song EP at the studio where I've done all mine, and I heard her EP and I went, "My God, that is great!" So I called the guy and booked it, and I've done 5 albums there now.
Done and done.
right? So you go down there. So if someone like you advise them to sort of go through the Toronto Nashville songwriters group, sort of as an introduction to get down there.
You
or-
could, or people can contact me. I'd be happy to help them out if they wanted to
Oh, it's very
get
kind.
some tips or point them in the right direction. And my next bus is leaving in April, and I'm taking a tour down. No, I'm kidding.
Well, do you fly?
If you order it with the lunch, that'll be extra.
So you just fly down?
I've driven once, and it was first and last time. It was 15 hours down, 13
boy.
hours back.
Ooh.
Got a song out of it
Oh, that's okay.
called "Headed to Nashville." But I fly. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met Johnny Reed on the flight. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Got our picture taken, and
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, are there any sort of places you recommend someone to go to, like the Bluebird open mic night is?
the Bluebird open mic's really hard to get in. You have to call between 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So 11 in the morning till 12 noon.
Wow.
And I'm in the studio, and I'm doing a vocal, and the guys are recording live off the floor, and I got my phone on redial because I want to get into the open mic that night.
Oh, wow.
It's never happened.
Oh,
It's just the
right.
luck of the draw.
Because people are like calling all the time.
Yeah, they're
like
coming
buying
from
concert
Alaska,
tickets.
It's like a little bit like
Florida.
Ticketmaster, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming from everywhere to play a song or two at the Bluebird. So the writer's night that I'm doing on Sunday night is I'm doing a workshop with Susie Bogus. And part of the workshop is you get 2 songs at the writer's night on the Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So that's great, yeah.
There must be other open mics. In some ways, that sounds a little antithetical to an open mic. I thought an open mic was whoever shows up at the door
Well,
is.
Different- there's
Douglas
different
Corner,
kinds.
I called up at 1 o'clock, got on the list, and Garth Brooks played there, Alan Jackson, Randy Travis. Just a little place, Douglas Corner, great place. And I get there, and I'm 40th on the list.
Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, I'll have a beer. At 20 to 1, I've had way too many beers, and I'm not in any shape to get up there, and there's still 16 songs to go.
Wow.
And they would have gone through everyone. Everyone would have stayed to the end. And I saw people just starting out. I saw people that, why don't you have a major label deal? Like, unbelievable talent. Just the range was just unbelievable. But it was great because I didn't get to play, but I sat back and sat through about 68 songs, right? So
Wow.
Goodness gracious.
Boy, that's a bit of a marathon.
yeah.
So when you get in the studio down there, are you directing any kind of arrangements, or are you letting your producer kind of handle like what how the bass lines are going to go, how the fiddle's going to
No,
do anything with that?
Larry, he's well, and they all have a little bit of a say too, right?
Of course, yeah.
You know, like it's neat because in the control room we'll listen to my MP3, and I kind of slink down because it sounded so good at home, but I don't know why it sounds so bad in this room here. And we're reading the lyrics, and the common phrase in the room is, "Chart's correct?" "Yeah, chart's correct." Because he's fixed up my MP3,
Right.
and they're hearing what I'm doing and looking at the chart and going, "I don't see that on here."
Right. Right.
Right? Which is amazing, right? "Yeah, chart's correct." Because he's tightened up all those 6-bar turnaround things, and
Right.
and we changed this chord, and then so they're at that point they're all throwing in a little bit of, "Hey, why don't we try?" And so they're really and it's all live off the floor.
Yeah.
Everyone, same time.
You sort of let them have free reign as far as like guitar licks and interesting little things that they do. And
They're the pros.
Yeah,
They've heard it all before, and they know what to do. And
they do this all day.
Yeah. They do this
every
all
day.
day,
So
every
it's
day.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is nothing for them. This is just like,
another day at the
you know,
office.
yeah.
the drummer Eddie Bayers was just admitted to the Nashville Musicians Hall of Fame.
Wow.
He's played on records that have sold over 300 million copies.
Wow.
Wow.
And the last time I went down, I went, and 300 million and one. He looked at me. I sold an album.
He said, "I finally made it."
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something,
Crested
David.
the peak.
Both of these songs are very storied, literal kind of slice of life type of thing. Do you ever write songs with more abstract lyrics?
I have some.
Yeah. Do you find those tougher to do?
Yeah. Like stuff has to make sense to me.
Yeah. Like the metaphor has to be clear, and you know what it all means,
Yeah,
even if it's a little
yeah.
obtuse.
Yeah, songwriting is about communication.
Yes.
Right? You want to touch someone's heart, get into their head. Later. No, right. You didn't hear that, did you, out there? That's good. Yeah, it's communication. So you want to bridge that gap between you and me and them.
Right.
And so to me it has to make sense. Like I'll listen to a Bruce Cockburn song and I go, "Man, what is that guy talking about?" Right? Because he's so poetical and he throws in the big words and stuff. But when you analyze it, okay, now I get it. Right?
Right.
But he caters to a certain intellectual audience that way, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas mine is just for regular folk. No, I'm kidding.
So you've done 7 albums and 5 in Nashville with the same players, more or less.
Yes.
How's your have you gone in different directions, or has your songwriting changed in a way, or what you've written about, or the way you?
They can rock it up.
Do you have
if
your rock album? Do you have your
on
Death metal.
on this album? Is there? No, maybe not on this album. The album before, Reaching for the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff that's, I'd call it country rock, but it kind of rocks. It's like, and for me, I feel good because I'm letting them loose, right? Like, so. But to answer your question about my style, it's all about serving the song. Like, what is the song wanting to be? What is it wanting to say? And let's bring that out as best we can.
So kind of the song leads you where it's going to go.
Yes.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Yeah. I was 7.
Wow.
Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. I was laying in bed. My brother's in his bunk bed up above me. And when I walk down the street, I like to repeat, "Will you marry me? Da da na na na, da na 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 na." That's the horn part, I guess. That was it. I was
That's a
7.
pretty good song.
That's great.
I was 7,
And you still.
and it rhymed.
Yeah, and it rhymed, and yeah.
We got a message from Paul Gallagher.
Oh, hey, Paul.
Listening in to my cousin David. Heartfelt songwriting. Thanks for writing. It's
Paul
nice to-
Gallagher's your cousin?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know that?
Small world, isn't it?
How would I know?
Our research
But you
department
know
is
Paul?
woefully
I know Paul.
inadequate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know anyone from our meetup group. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
Paul
cool.
and I have a song on my next album that we co-wrote. We went to a family reunion. That's why he triggered me here. And he saw this sign when he was a kid, and it said, "Eat here, get gas." So we wrote a song called "Eat Here, Get Gas." And when I pitched it in Nashville, I said, I think this is a Brad Paisley song. So that'll be on the next album. Yeah.
So is your prison story fit for air, or is that something else?
I was in jail in Glasgow when I traveled around Europe for 5 months when I was 19. And the hostel pass wasn't active yet till October 1st. So our English teacher said, if you're ever stuck, go to the local jail and get them to put you up. And we went to Northern District Jail in Glasgow. It was just built, hadn't even opened. And they said, sure, we'll throw you in here. And they took us down, and we slept on the cold floor in our sleeping bags in Northern District Jail.
Wow.
And at 6 in the morning, the warden taps on the bar,
Yeah.
and he took us out to the highway, and we hitched away from there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So it was the only
Up on
night
the
I've ever
highway.
spent in jail was in my homeland, Scotland, or my grandparents' homeland.
Right.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
brilliant.
I mean, it's no disparagement intended, but I always thought that Scottish jails would be full.
This one was just waiting. Just built, yeah.
Send all
we
your
have to try it
emails
out.
to Michael at SongTalk Radio.
Yeah.
So what's coming up next for you, David?
Saturday, I'm doing a benefit at Free Times for the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
Oh, nice.
A friend of mine, Linda Saslov's, putting on a night. And then Sunday morning, I'm in Stratford at the Christmas market at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
going to be fun.
Yeah. And then doing Winterfolk at the end of February in Toronto here. It's 3 nights at the Transac.
okay.
And then the Bluebird in March.
Transac is where we hold our meetup.
Yeah.
So are you playing live a lot, or?
I go to a lot of open mics, and I just try out new stuff that I just wrote. And what a crucible! It's to me, you do a song once live, it really matures it.
Right.
And
Do you ever change it from the response you get live, or?
I'm always rewriting, so I don't. Oh, you mean like if it was a real dud, I think
Yeah.
I better go back to the drawing board.
Or the other way, if people really dig the chorus,
Yeah.
and you go, okay, I'm going to repeat that chorus a couple more
or
times.
leave the
Yeah,
chorus.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Or
Lead
lead with it,
It's
or-
an indicator, right?
Yeah.
You know, so. And if they're buying you drinks and stuff, then I don't change a thing in the song.
Yeah, there's always that. And do you like with all the songs you write, do all of them make their way onto an album, or do you have a lot that are never recorded?
I have 8 right now. I want to do a protest album.
Oh, yeah.
And
Ah,
I don't know if I'd do it in Nashville. I mean, they could cut it, but I wouldn't want the steel guitar in there, right? And more like Neil Young with Crazy Horse with the fuzz dialed up and just
right.
going berserk. But
What would you be protesting?
one song's called "One Less Gun" about gun violence.
Oh, yeah.
Another song's called "1 Million Umbrellas," which is when
Hong Kong?
no in Madrid when terrorists put bombs on a train and shot it downtown, and 206 people got killed and 1,800 people injured, and so they protested. They had a 1 million-man march in Madrid,
With
and it
umbrellas?
was raining in Spain,
Oh, okay.
and everyone had an umbrella.
Oh,
I thought,
right.
1 million umbrellas. There's your protest song. But it was about, and all these terrorists were eventually caught,
Oh, okay.
rounded up, and so stuff like that, like more worldly stuff. Yeah.
Right. I hear the band.
Speaking of rounding up, that is all the time we have for
Throwing us out.
Song Talk Radio. Special thanks to our guest, David McLachlan.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much, guys.
Woo.
Thanks. That was
And
fun.
where
Thank
can our
you.
listeners find more of your music?
It's on Spotify, iTunes, CD Baby. Go to my website.
What's the website?
YouTube. I have a YouTube thing, David McLachlan Music on YouTube.
There's numerous ways to spell McLachlan, so we should make sure it's McLachlan?
Get your Sarah McLachlan album
Sarah
out.
McLachlan.
Same?
You're not related to
Same.
Sarah, are you?
No. When we split, I kept no.
That is
No.
David M small C LACLAN.
No, LACH.
H. L-A-N.
LACHLAN.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It'll be on our site.
We like to
and
get
it'll be
letters from
spelled
our audience, but
properly there.
sometimes we're not so good at reading the letters. And send us your impressions on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at SongTalk Radio, or send us an email, feedback@songtalk.ca. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube channel for live performance videos. We got 2 of them tonight, and full episodes. We got 1 of those tonight. And please stop by the SongTalk site at SongTalk. Speaking of reading.
For extra repetition.
Subscribe today to the SongTalk Radio podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher.com, Spotify, Podcast Addict. What's the other one? TuneIn.com. Many others, I'm sure. And don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter at songtalk.ca. You can find links to all the products, books, and web services we mentioned on the show on our resources page on the website. And, of course, if you're in the Toronto area, please join us at our next Song Talk meetup. It's on Thursday, December the 12th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Transat Club. Bring your holiday songs. It's free to join on meetup.com and free to attend the meetup. Stop by songtalk.ca for the link. Thank you to Rita for handling the social media tonight.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
And
Very
on-
cool black and white picture there.
And on the tech board thingy tonight, we got Dawn. Thank you, Dawn, making us sound good. And also a big thank you to Vanessa Vreeland for her help behind the scenes at Song Talk Radio. And most of all, we'd like to thank you, our devoted listeners. You can follow me at neilmodi.com. You can follow Phil.
At the Phil Emery on Twitter.
Follow Michael.
On Instagram, Proudfoot420.
And Rita. Miss Rita256 on Instagram. And Dawn, do you have a social media channel of
Yeah,
choice?
Don Thompson 777. Twittergram.
On
Both of
Twittergram.
Twittergram.
And David, you have a favorite social media channel at all?
I have all my stuff's on this thing called davidmclaughlin.hearnow.com.
Here now.
How do you spell here?
Like HEAR. Like
Like the listening here.
Like
Okay.
listen.
And
That's
stop
what I
by the
figured, but
website,
wanna make
songtalk.ca.
sure.
Yeah.
Browse past shows, find out you can be a guest. Keep on writing.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Night. Thank you, guys.